sitting on a desk, kind of here, you tend to slouch down a little bit. Over the course of the day, your muscles in your back might tend to stretch round due to having a tight chest at the front as well. So that excessive kind of lordosis and leaning over of the spine is what we're going to now try and get rid of. So one little stretch to start with is shuffle to the front of your seat. Okay, so you've got a little bit of room behind. Depending on what chair you've got, this might be easier for some than others. Grab the side of it, and we're just going to start with bring the chest up nice and high. Okay, you might be a bit wider than my chair, you might have your hands out here, but the principle's the same. You're going to look to drive your chest up nice and high. Okay, you can tip your head back if you want. Okay, that'll stretch off the muscles at the front of your neck, which you tend to use leaning forward. Okay, you can roll your head round. Press your ear down to your shoulder, side to side. Stretch those muscles off, okay, the upper body. So this will be stretching your pectorals at the front. Remember the whole time we're having a nice tall chest, keeping the back nice and straight, like an ironing board. Good. Okay, another one from here then. We're going to place our left hand onto our right knee. Okay, you can use the space in between you and the back of the chair just to prop your hand down somewhere, keeping your head up nice and tall towards the sky. Okay, like a tree, up nice and tall. You're just going to gently have a little bit of rotation and twist. Okay, so you're going to use your left hand and the hand behind just to twist slightly. Okay, we're not overdoing it, we're just putting the spine through some lateral twisting movements just so they're not stiffening up around the lower back. Okay, good. From there, you can remove the hand. We're going to switch to the other side. Okay, if you want to advance it a little bit, you can also look over your shoulder on the other side to help with your neck. It will help stretch the muscles on the neck as well. Okay, good, and then back to the beginning. So as you notice, your hips are constantly in this flexed position here. If your desk chair isn't set up at the appropriate height, it might even be in a deeper position as well. So the next stretch is going to really focus on the hip joint, specifically the quadriceps and the deep hip flexor muscles at the front of the stomach. So you're going to come into a kneeling position. Okay, kneeling position. If you've got your sofa behind you, that's perfectly fine as well. If you're just using a pillow, that also works. It's just to raise your foot slightly off the ground. Okay. My knee is still resting on the floor. I'm just resting the top of my foot or my toes on top of this chair. Okay, and I'm just going to try and bring my head up as tall as possible towards the roof, like someone's pulling me up to the roof with a fishing line. Okay, and this here is probably a deep enough stretch, okay, that I'm feeling already in my quadricep. Rather than going through anything else, this is it. I'm just going to hold this position. So if you're feeling that stretch, that's great. You can rest your hands on your knee. A few deep breaths. Good. On the exhale, try and really focus on drawing your head up to the roof. Okay, good. If you want then, on the last few seconds, we can do a bit of mobilization at the hip, okay, and at the ankle, just by, as you can tell I'm already doing, I'm rocking forward, rocking backwards. Okay, so this is now going to move the muscle and the hip joint through that extension position that you guys were doing earlier in your glute bridges. You're looking to extend at the hip and back down, just moving it through the motions. Good. Okay, we're going to swap the legs now to the other side. Swap the legs to the other side. Again, imagine someone's got a fish hook in the top of your head there, and they're pulling you right up to the sky, resting the hands on the knee. That might warrant a deep enough stretch just there where it is. Okay? 2 or 3 deep breaths. On the exhale, you're going to look to draw and elongate your spine up to the ceiling again, nice and tall. Once you've done your 3 breaths, we'll go into our mobilization of the hip, okay, and the ankle at the front, just to work it through a little bit of extension. Okay, good. And the final one we're going to look at is our upper back. Again, this needs a little bit more attention because we're going to be sat in that position there, in that typing on our computer. So this one, we're going to get into almost like a prayer position, a kneeling prayer, or you can interlock your fingers. It's entirely up to you. Or if it's uncomfortable in any way, you can just have your hands kind of side by side and you can make fists. But essentially what you're going to do is rest your elbows on the chair or on the sofa or on the cushion, on the floor. Okay? You're going to look to keep your back straight. So I'm going to try and remain in this position with my back the entire time. And I'm actually just going to look to try and pull my bum down to my heels. Okay, in here. And as you can tell, it's trying to just aid me in extension through my upper back. Okay, so I'm facing the floor. I'm going to take 3 deep breaths. Each time I'm just trying to relax into this stretch and let gravity and my body weight pull me down towards the ground. So if everyone can just continue with that stretch 2 or 3 times, you can come out of it and back into it if it's more comfortable. 3 deep breaths. And then you can give your arms a bit of a shake off, and hopefully that's something that you guys can implement into your day if you find yourselves super busy and you've got back-to-back lessons. Okay, you could sandwich just those kind of 2 or 3 stretches in between, sat at your desk on the chair, ready for the day.